We come back in with the glass breaking. That means it's time to welcome to the show Austin Price, who covers Tennessee football, Vols recruiting as well for VolQuest.com. He joins us every week. Thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, we appreciate the time as always. Earlier today, Tennessee had its second scrimmage of the fall. What have you gathered? What have you figured out that you feel confident about regarding Tennessee's football team now 2.5 weeks away from starting up the regular season?
Well, I continue to gather that Joe Milton gets more and more comfortable and continues to play really, really well. Josh Heupel said afterwards that he doesn't believe that Joe has thrown any picks in practice. You know, he's never thrown one in a game since he got to Tennessee. Now, that's a small sample size, right? You know, but at the same time, you know, I think that'll be a narrative is he takes care of the football and doesn't put the ball in harm's way. That's something Hendon Hooker was really good at. You know, not turning the football over, not giving it to the other team, and you know, with Joe playing more and more consistent by the day. I know that's a really good sign for Tennessee. Tennessee's defensive front, you know, continues to make some plays. And, you know, I know there's a lot of excitement about Omar Norman-Lott, the Arizona State transfer, McAllen Castles, you know, made some plays today at the tight end position, the tight end from UC Davis. So, a lot of optimism coming out of today's practice. Were they perfect? No. Some operational stuff just from a tempo standpoint. But as far as once the play started, you know, I think, you know, both sides had some nice wins today, and on the whole, both sides performed pretty well.
All right, Austin, give us the young player or newcomer update. Who did you hear looked pretty good in scrimmage number 2 for Tennessee?
Well, as far as, you know, just young guys, Cam Seldon continues to be one that flashes. James Pierce is a second-year player, flashed some today. You know, I would have probably told you Tyree Weathersby, but, you know, sadly Tyree had to have, you know, a hip procedure and you know, will miss the 2023 season. But he was someone that, you know, Rodney Garner was, you know, super excited about, and the staff was, you know, feeling like was going to help them this fall. So that's a little bit of a blow, but you know, as far as this scrimmage, you know, a lot of Cam Seldon, Caleb Webb, you know, second-year receiver continues to, you know, really improve, really progress, and that's good because you need, you know, Nimrod and Webb to be really pushing those older guys because a year from now they could be in that position, right? You know, and so you want them to continue to kind of have their head right, be kind of, you know, very, very, as Josh Heupel would say, intentional with their preparation. And, you know, you never know when you may need to turn to one of those younger guys.
Austin Price is with us, VolQuest.com. He joins us every week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. You mentioned McCastles, the tight end position overall. Ethan Davis is a young player who's well thought of coming in. What do you make of the tight end position, starting with Jacob Warren and then that group overall?
Super thin. Jacob Warren, he's not going to see a scrimmage in fall camp. He didn't scrimmage the first one. He didn't scrimmage today. There's no point. This is his 6th year. At the end of the day, they need him to be healthy. They need McAllen Castles to be healthy. They need Ethan Davis to be healthy. They're not real deep at the position. So, you know, I think they like the room, but they're an injury or two away, a turned ankle away or whatever from, you know, being in a tough spot there. That's why, you know, when they brought in Emmanuel Okoye, there was never a hesitation where he was going to play. Is he ready to play tight end right now? No. His hands are still a work in progress. I mean, this is a guy that literally just, you know, started playing football with lines on it. And he didn't even have hash marks over there in London when he was playing for the NFL Academy. So, I mean, he's very raw, but they just needed a body at the tight end position. And so, you know, will he stay there long term? I guess that's up to him and how he progresses. But, you know, this is a tight end room that, you know, if they stay healthy, they'll be just fine. But they're also very, very thin.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com. Jordan Ross, the highly rated edge player from Vestavia Hills, the Birmingham area in Alabama, set to make his announcement soon. What's the latest on Jordan Ross, Austin?
Well, he dropped his, you know, his announcement day. He'll do it next Monday down to Texas, Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee. If you're going off of those 4 teams, I would tell you that Tennessee probably is the team to beat. Now, with that said, you know, there's something here that just kind of feels funny to me, right? I mean, it's not, you know, just kind of having watched his recruitment the whole time. you talk to people at Texas, and they don't see him going there. You talk to Alabama people, they don't see him going there, and same thing with Florida. So, all of a sudden it's like, well, is there someone laying in the weeds for Jordan Ross, where it kind of comes out of left field? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if you're just going off those 4 teams, I kind of like where Tennessee's at. But, this one just has a different feel to it, and I don't know how to describe it. Covering recruiting these days is not a whole lot of fun, because literally you can be 100% right one minute, a phone call comes in, and you're 100% wrong the next. And that's kind of the day and age we're in, where things change and morph on a dime.
I know recruiting's never over with just a commitment. Will that especially be the case, though, with Ross, you think, after his announcement next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the case for just about anybody. But, I mean, yeah, there are some more than others that you could definitely label that the case on. And I think that, let's say he picks Tennessee, okay? Tennessee's going to still have to recruit him, still work that one hard, because, I mean, you look at a guy like Sylvester Smith, an Alabama kid last year that's, committed to Tennessee, acted like everything was hunky-dory, and then Auburn came in late, changed coaches, and that was an easy flip for Hugh Freeze. I think, any kid, especially from that state, you have to be careful of those in-state schools. If they push late in the process, does the kid go, I just want to stay closer to home? And, I think that, that's one you'll have to continue to work if you're able to land him next Monday.
Austin, is there a player that is currently committed to another school that Tennessee has a good chance of flipping to Tennessee?
Well, there's a couple guys on the defensive line that I think Tennessee continues to work pretty hard. Amaris Williams, defensive lineman from North Carolina, who's committed to Florida. And then Cam Fountain, defensive lineman, edge guy out of Atlanta, who's committed to Southern Cal. Now, Fountain, was hot and heavy on Tennessee all spring, especially leaving their Memorial Day event. And, I would even tell you that, he probably had told Tennessee they were in great shape, and went out to USC for an official visit, kind of fell in love with L.A. You have to remember now, USC does a really good job with their alumni because it is so diverse, whether it be, people in the entertainment industry and, this and that, you can get wowed on a USC official visit. Now, he committed to Southern Cal right there after that. Tennessee's continued to work him. The more and more he gets away from that, you wonder, does he kind of go, that was a great time, but, staying back out east just makes a little more sense. I don't know. I do think, the fact that USC's going to the Big Ten does kind of help all East Coast kids maybe take a look at them, just based off the fact that, half the games you're going to play are going to be on this side of the United States, and so does that help families with travel? Again, you still got to get from, let's say in his case, get from Atlanta to, Michigan, Atlanta to Rutgers, Atlanta to Minnesota or whatever. But I do think it's at least something you have to watch. But yeah, Fountain and Amaris Williams are two guys that Tennessee continues to swing at, and right now, or at least I think that they're potential flip candidates down the road.
Austin Price, Volquest.com. Before we get you out the door here, 2 weeks into camp, a little more than 2 weeks to go before the start of the season, what's your biggest question mark right now with Tennessee's football team? Where would you place that with the Vols right now?
For me, it's left guard. It's not really close. Right tackle, you've got bodies there that, whether it's J.J. Crawford or Dane Davis or Gerald Mincy, players that have started in the league. Left guard is just a little more dicey. I mean, especially with Cooper out. Ollie Lane shifts to center, and then you got Andre Carrick. Yeah, he started games at Texas and stuff, but I don't think that, he's by any means locked down the position. You got Jackson Lampley, who's had some, nice practices of late, but again, a guy who's not been a starter here. Addison Nichols, is still lacking consistency. And so to me, it's left guard. Like, I think that's the glaring, like, okay, they got to figure that out before, really before Florida. I don't think that hinges on whether you can beat Virginia or not, but you've got to get that figured out over the next month.
Austin Price, Volquest.com, covering what's happening on the field right now in practice, as well as what's happening on the recruiting trail, as that never stops. Volquest is where you can read his work, and every week you can hear him right here on Josh and Swain, thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler at Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, thank you for the time as always. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.